the yellow shirt.
Yeah, and the guy in the yellow shirt clearly doesn't want anything to do with it. Somebody reached over and closed the door, and the car's going to take off. 9 times out of 10, these passengers, especially one like that, as long as he doesn't have any other warrants or anything wrong with him, he'll get kicked. He won't go to jail for just being a passenger in
Back on the road, chat. Back on the road.
In connection with the robbery.
Yeah, and he's going to drink. My throat's been kind of weird.
And asked to be let out, and that's exactly
what
happened.
Because I was with Arthur.
You've got the driver still going, obviously. Now, here was the other issue, is that LAPD doesn't know how many people are in the car.
I was just going to say, the windows are so dark.
Right, the windows are very dark. They asked how many people are in the car. They say they don't know, they can't tell. At least 2, right? Because we saw one guy get out. Somebody closed the passenger door. It's hard to tell if the driver leaned over and did that or if there's yet another passenger that's in there, so we'll have to see all of that. Hopefully they'll be able to get some information out of the guy that got out of the car.
That would be a very long arm, Mike, right? To reach across the car to close the passenger side door. What's really interesting here, again, as you mentioned, it's a pursuit, right? Police are in pursuit of these robbery suspects.
Bro, how does he know every time?
So slow.
How does he know, dude?
Yeah, and they very clearly don't really know kind of what they want out of this, because we've seen this kind of move several times here where the car just kind of stops in the middle of the road. We do know, my colleague Orlando telling me that a handgun was used during the course of the robbery. So that was the weapon that was had. Obviously they don't know if the weapon is still in the car, but that's something they're going to act like and proceed with caution as if it was. So that's why you've got these units kind of staying back. That's why they're not allowed to go into tracking mode, because the suspect is armed and because they're wanted for this alleged armed robbery.
You can merge here on the right and then switch lanes. You don't have to double.
A little bit, because I want to show you all of the patrol cars that are back there, because they've gotten permission.
Like, oh my God, brother!
Significantly more units than we usually do in a pursuit. You've got about 5 units that are back there right now. You've got a couple that are obviously still back with that passenger that got out, taking that person into custody. But again, not driving hard, not trying to really get away here, stopped in the middle of the crosswalk there as we're Hoover near the 10 freeway right now.
Mike, do we know where this robbery took place or what happened?
We're going to work on getting that information right now from LAPD to see if they can kind of share anything. It has not come out over the radio exactly what happened. On the right side of your screen is from moments ago when that passenger got out of the car there. It almost looked like, guys, he was like motioning, like he wanted to grab something else out of the car. During that, obviously, the officer's telling him, no, just get away, get away, get away.
Shall we order
custody and try to sort out
coffee,
what, if any, involvement he may have had with the alleged armed robbery that this car is wanted for. But as we approach Washington and Hoover, this is kind of the area that we've been in. We really haven't strayed away too much from this area on this busy Friday afternoon.
And you know, Mike, when a driver is going this slow, it would seem as if it's easier to put those spike strips down, but because they are going so slow.
Wait, hold on.
Passenger.
Oh, another person getting out.
Yep,
with
another person not wanting to play along with this.
Wow.
That must be why they're going so slow, Mike.
No,
right?
they're going to be arrested anyway.
I want to get out. I don't want any more of this. You're going to get in trouble. Police are chasing you, and
they should have gotten out the first time they had a chance to. Now they can't say they didn't have a chance.
There's got to be a lot of conflict happening in that car between the driver and the 2 passengers, because obviously these passengers are not interested in running from law enforcement, which is
they will hold it against that person for sure.
So you would have to imagine there's heated conversations going on between the person who is driving the car, who clearly wants to get away, and the people that were inside. So we'll see if there are any more passengers in there, or if we're finally just kind of down to the driver. You see the hazard lights on the car.
This is if
really
black question mark, yes.
Even the windshield is pretty difficult to be able to see inside. I did just hear them authorize another unit to get into the pursuit, because you know, every time one of these passengers gets out, the units have to kind of peel back and deal with the passengers. So they're authorizing kind of more black and whites to get involved in this. As we come around under the car, into the tree. And look at that window. That windshield is really dark.
Yeah. Did it look like the person who got out was a woman?
It did. It did. And I'm trying to listen to that right now. She also had that white plastic bag with her, which we don't know what was in that. But it did look like she was a woman when she got out there on the right side of your screen.
Yeah, here we go again.
Looking at that.
Yes.
Well, here's the good thing, Mike, about having all those units behind this car is that if somebody does get out of the car, at least one can pull over and make sure they can talk to the suspect.
Yeah, he had to lose some weight.
Information, or not the suspect, but the passenger in the car.
If you're going to escape, you want to try to be light as possible, you know?
Especially with these dark tints, you really can't see inside the car.
Yeah, and they'll for sure be asking, does he have any guns? Is there any other weapons inside the car?
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, sorry. just listening to our helicopter
info, yeah.
reporter, Oliver, has given me some information as well, hearing that from
Chad, it's a classic
law
chase
enforcement
tactic. Chad, it's called the
helicopter,
TD. If
just
you lose a
confirming
touchdown,
for us that this
Chad, it's a
was
total
211
drop.
armed robbery with a handgun. We're going to work to see if we can figure out exactly where and when that armed
Classic
robbery
kill.
occurred. But it sounds like the officers that initiated this pursuit were kind of already privy to that information, which always kind of, when we do it that way, kind of makes me lead that there was ran the license plate, and the license plate was already kind of.
Bro, what is this guy doing, Chad? Guys, what is this guy doing?
You're right. You know, when you have those passengers that get out of the car and don't want to go along with the pursuit, you're hopeful that they'll be a little bit more willing to kind of speak with officers or give them some kind of information about what the driver has or what exactly is going on inside of that car. Because we do see a lot of times where
that's just
police pursuits that
stick
with the chase and stay in the car until the end. They don't maybe necessarily run all the time, but these guys very clearly wanted out. They did not want to be involved in this.
Yes, and as we were mentioning earlier, that might have been why the car kept stopping. Perhaps they were saying, stop the car, I want out. And then this driver would stop.
Look at all the snipers.
Keep going. You can see some people looking out there. But certainly a slow pursuit. And we have a lot of people out there on the sidewalks now in this area.
This is a lot of live viewers.
Patrol car up there on the sidewalk, hopefully just trying to keep everyone away from this car, perhaps.
Speed
I don't know.
Picking up a little speed here at that left-hand turn.
Yeah. And this is, a tough, pursuit. They probably want to put a spike strip down, but going this slow, the driver can easily go around the spike strip. And sometimes it almost.
Well, I love it, like Chad. Look at the way this looks. Beautiful.
When the car's going.
Look at the sightseeing here, Chad.
The pit maneuver's got to be such that perfect speed to be able to do that. You can't be going too fast, you'll hurt somebody, but you can't be going too slow, otherwise it's just going to be ineffective.
Right, you got to use that momentum, right?
Exactly. Really quick, Orlando on the assignment desk was just talking to LAPD. We know that this 211, this robbery, happened a couple of days ago. So it was not something that happened today. It was something that happened a couple of days ago. It was investigated.
This traffic
this car
would
was
make me lose my shit.
In it. They entered the license plates into the system, and at some point today, these Olympic officers found the car, ran the plate, discovered that it was allegedly used in an armed robbery.
Isn't going
the armed
anywhere.
Robbery, again, was with a handgun. We know that nobody was hurt in the armed robbery. No shots were fired. Nobody was injured. We don't know if it was to a business, to a person. We're still working on some of those details. But a couple of days ago, no one was injured. Today, Olympic officers ran the plate and got behind the car.
Mike,
is live, yeah. I wouldn't watch it. It wasn't live.
Helpful to the two passengers who jumped out of the car, right?
Well, yeah, because you don't know. I mean, maybe those guys didn't know this guy allegedly robbed.
Try hard 7.
Okay, we'll get some more information here.
There
at the
are
desk.
still 2 people in the car.
Two more people in the car.
They were able to get information from one of the passengers that bailed out.
Some speed here, Chad. Watch out. We're going like 25 now.
There's still another passenger that is a woman that are still in the car. So that will help LAPD to know that there are still 2 more people.
Slow down.
And are they still staying here in University Park? Mike,
Yeah,
sure
we really
like
haven't
right?
moved. Yeah, I mean, we're still at 17th and Toberman. 17th is where we were earlier, right before SkyCal got overhead. So, we really have not made a ton of progress at all in getting anywhere significant, and that kind of goes with the way he's driving.
What's a Carmelo making
that
here?
Crazy. In fact, he's almost impeding traffic at some points with how slow he's going. So, not super interested in trying to gun it and get out of the area. Maybe that is just indicative of them not knowing what to do or where to go, or really kind of how to handle this.
Exactly, and I'm guessing that meant that there were 4 people in the car initially, and it wasn't from that first person who got out saying, hey, there's still a woman and a driver, because they didn't see that woman get out of the car. So we're sure that there's still 2 more.
2 more.
Okay.
Yeah, that information just came in from, they said, from one of the passengers that got out.
This is a message to the guy in the car.
Officers that are
parallel park, or you're a fucking bitch.
Commands
I said it then.
over their speaker to pull over. Is
in
there some sort of
traffic,
communication?
less than 5 seconds to parallel park that motherfucker.
Again, he doesn't try to get past them, and you'll see, and we'll see if it happens again. I'm just trying to see if any of these officers are throwing spikes, because we're sorry, just listening. So we're very close to the area where the car is registered to. So the car comes back to an address over on 18th Street. We're on 17th Street. So we're not far from this where these people are. The car is registered to. We don't know that the person driving it is necessarily the owner, but we know that it is registered.
Is that a skate park?
So this person probably knows the area, and that's why we're not really leaving that area. To your point, though, Juan, and I don't see it this time, but I did see once when the car stopped like this, that those officers opened their doors, and at that point was probably likely at least yelling things at the driver to surrender and pull over.
Well, and we've seen this before, right? Where somebody wants to get a little closer to home if they are going to get arrested, maybe drop off the car. Maybe they feel if a relative or somebody, a witness, is there to see the arrest go down, it might be a good thing.
Yeah.
So we don't know if this person is on their cell phone talking to family members at home,
crazy.
trying to figure out and negotiate. Maybe they're telling him, hey, pull over and let's end this, because as we know, how these pursuits always end is with someone in custody.
Are they
trying to get home and make a run
Anyone
or
looking to
into a
milk my
building where
snake?
maybe they think that they can hide?
Right.
So that's why it's so important for these officers
Speed one,
to stay
speed
so
one,
close so that
speed one,
in
speed
fact,
one,
if they
speed
do
one,
try to
speed one,
bail
speed
out,
one,
they're
speed
close
one.
behind.
Well, and what this person may not know is that LAPD has made the decision to not go into tracking and to stay on their tail the whole time. So if
2
they're looking for an
years.
opportunity where the cops might back off a little bit and give them some breathing room, that's not going to happen in this chase, because LAPD has already said it's not going to happen. The other thing that if they're trying to find somewhere to bail, that they're, you know, I don't want to tell pursuit suspects how to do their jobs, but they're staying in
just
the
say
same
it.
area.
Is the driver
here,
fat
which
as
is
fuck or
allowing
not?
more
I need to
and
know,
more
Jeff, because
officers
if you don't
to
stop
kind of
watching,
plug
because he's
in
not going to go
area.
anywhere.
So if they do try to get out and run, they are, I mean, I would hope that almost certainly they'll be caught, because you have so many cops that are in the area. They're not going into tracking mode, and you've got, it looks like maybe have 2 police helicopters, or no, just 1, but a police helicopter overhead, obviously, that's keeping an eye on them as well.
Well, we've seen, we saw the LAPD helicopter cross the SkyCal's camera a couple of times there, so we do know that they're keeping an eye, not only from the ground, but also
this guy
from
is
up
doing
above,
fucking donuts. He's
tracking
doing like
this robbery suspect.
Much love from
right now on your
Mexico.
screen on the right-hand
Less
side,
than
you can
3.
see it happened twice during this slow pursuit. Basically, is 2 different people got out of the car, and what we're believing right now, just based on the information and observation here, is that these people were in the car.
hold on.
This robbery
He's overtaking now. He's overtaking. Hold on.
The license
He's gonna have some speed. 35 miles an hour.
robbery that
Hold
took
on.
place the last
High average is
couple of
40
days.
miles an hour
Police gave
in a
chase
populated
where
area down to LA. Hold on.
Passengers had no idea, didn't want anything to do with what was going on here, and they were allowed
xQc
to get out of the car, at least from the driver. But again, this driver going so slow, round
Very
and round
quick,
here
sharp right
in the
turn.
Pico Union
Oh
area
my
near
God.
University Park.
And we're stopped again.
Just near the home, right?
Sharp
Near
left
the home where
turn.
This car is registered to, right?
Yeah,
Opposite
18th
lanes of
Street is where
travel.
the,
Middle of the
vehicle
lane.
Came back to, and I want to
Hold
ask real
on.
quick, Nate, in our control room, when you get a second, if you can put my computer in a box here, I just want to show people kind of the path that the law enforcement helicopter has been taking, because we've not at all gone anywhere else besides really this area, butting up consistently right against the 10 freeway.
Not coming to a full
just on
stop.
the west side of the
I'm actually triggered.
We'll work on getting that here in just a second so I can show you that. But the car is not trying to make any
If there's
of
a
these
stop,
really crazy moves. They're
you
not
must
trying to speed
come
off
to a
and
full
get away.
stop.
They're just kind of trying to hang out in this area and go in circles. You've already let the 2 passengers out. They're already talking to law enforcement. That's how the police know that there is still a man and a woman inside the car. Apparently the man is the driver
but
here,
brake first.
as we approach 18th Street, where we know now that the car is registered to.
The man should probably let the lady out of the car too. I mean, it would be best for her too to just not be implicated in this unless she was part of this robbery. There's that map, Mike.
So here's my computer, and this the orange that you're seeing on it is the trail of the LAPD helicopter. So you can see that we've really only gone in this same kind of area. You come out here, this is the greater Los Angeles area. Here's the 10 and the 110. This is the path that the LAPD helicopter is chasing.
Drawing something.
You can see SkyCal has just been kind of circling that same area as well. But there's the LAPD ship one more time. And that's just kind of the area that they've been in throughout the course of this chase. We've really not made any great grand, geographical movements on this one.
Exactly, and really hasn't picked up the speed much either.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a slow pursuit since we've been
Watch out,
over
no!
it, and
No!
you just wonder if at some point are these officers going to make the move with either a spike strip or attempt a pit maneuver. There's not a lot of traffic out there, but things are certainly going to be picking up as we get closer to the end of the workday for so many people on a Friday. And you always have to be careful of all of those pedestrians that are also out there.
And just a few seconds ago, we
He
did get a
turned
chance
single.
to see
I like
line
that.
of LAPD cars.
Wait, Jack, this is reforming.
This suspect's car, quite a bit there.
At least 5.
Single
At
turn
least
this time instead of
5,
double.
Mike. And as you were saying,
Following
because he's
traffic
staying in
laws.
this area here, more and more units can be deployed here. to just hopefully contain
now we're picking
as
up
best
speed.
they can the pursuit.
80 miles an hour!
So yeah, and for those who don't know, LAPD, when there's a pursuit, they always put together what's called a pursuit package. And there are units that are in a technical sense, authorized to be involved in the pursuit. And in this situation,
And full stop again.
the watch commander has authorized those additional suspects or additional police officers. Yeah, and again, we're just kind of stopping right here in the middle of the road. And you wonder if he tried to like gun it a little bit to get far enough away to get out and run or something like that, but that didn't happen, and now we're just stopped in the middle of the road as they continue on.
It looks like he's thinking, should I make a right-hand turn here? Should I stay in this lane?
xQc.
Is that a traffic light, Mike? Yeah,
It
is, right?
yeah. And this car is like, I don't want anything to do with that, getting away, which is very smart of that person to do. But back to your point of the number of officers, yeah, so they have 5 that are officially authorized to be in the chase, but then the ones that are still within the division are nearby and in the area. So
Another stop, chat, hold on.
Involved in the chase, but they certainly are positioning themselves to be close by for when this comes to an end.
He's putting the car in launch mode.
3, 4, 5, those 5 black and whites that have been authorized to be in the chase.
Here it comes.
And then you've
0 to
got
100 in
a supervisor
2.4
back in
seconds.
station 20L90, who is the watch commander, which will be giving the official commands on this chase. But here we are. I mean, we gunned it to 60, stopped in the middle of the road, and now we're just hanging out at this traffic
Rolling start, don't
You know,
change.
Mike, I always get this question when friends and viewers watch these pursuits happen. They're like, they see 5 LAPD cars.
Come on, shift.
The cars stop, and you wonder,
Hold
why don't
on.
the cars from the
20,
back of the pack kind
30.
of gun it and kind of block the car, but you never get in front of the...
You never get in front of a suspect like that, especially in this situation, because this is an alleged armed robbery suspect that they know that a weapon and a handgun was used. And the last thing you want to do is put an officer right in front of the car, especially when they can't see inside, when they don't have eyes on the suspect, and you don't know exactly how that suspect will react to that. The additional thing is, too, if you put officers in front of the car and
near
then you
collision
officers behind the car,
Chad,
and
you see
create
it?
a crossfire situation for those officers, that if, God forbid, shots are fired, now you have officers kind of shooting in the direction of the other officers. So they don't want to put themselves in that place either. Now, we have seen, to your point, though, we have seen CHP do that. We have seen CHP come up and kind of, not necessarily from the front, but box them in from the side. But those are for usually more minor wants, things, just a failure to yield, a lane change violation, DUI, things like that. But with an armed robbery suspect like this, they're not going to go into tracking. I would be also surprised if they would do a pit maneuver, because same thing, you spin the car around and you put the guy facing those officers.
And we have no idea, Mike, whether or not the suspect is armed today. They may have been armed 2 days ago, but officers have to operate with the thought and knowledge that perhaps that they are still armed today.
And I want to point out real quick, too,
It's an armed and robbery
we're now into the downtown area.
Suspect of another day.
He's going to do his best, but we're going to get some tall buildings in the way here that are always problematic for us. So we'll see, and we'll do our best to kind of stick with this and hang on to the chase here as we come into downtown. But this is the first time we have left that area of kind of University Park, just north of the 10 and west of the 110. Right now we are kind of in the area. This is Venice and Broadway, not far from the LA Convention Center and that kind of area.
And, this driver is still stopping at intersections, following the rules of the road.
Yo,
not
how about you turn
stopping.
right on red, buddy, man?
Just for a very short time, but, just sitting at the intersection there.
Yeah, and it really kind of just makes you think that they're not sure what they're doing, right? I mean, this whole chase has been this weird stop and go, passengers not wanting to go along with what the driver's doing.
Chad, can you run on red in the light or not?
I just am very curious to obviously know what the conversation is inside of that car, because it definitely seems like a person who's not super sure of what they're doing.
Well, his mind's probably going a mile a minute.
Yeah.
And to Amy's point, too, obeying traffic laws, perhaps he thinks, well, I'm just going to pretend that they weren't after me, or I did nothing wrong. I was obeying the traffic rules, versus somebody who is obviously running from police.
Yeah, someone was crossing the street there. They waited until they got through the crosswalk, and now taking off again. But as Mike was talking, this is a new area that we haven't seen.
6 seconds, Chad, the one I'm skipping.
And it'll be interesting to see if they can really maneuver this area as well. You've got one-way streets.
Oh my God, bro, this fucking loser.
A less familiar area.
Mike, do you think he's trying to get onto the 10 freeway there, or looking for an on-ramp?
I mean, yeah, maybe, but the thing with that, though, is he's already had kind of that opportunity a couple of times, and we're doing that kind of stop and go game. I know SkyCal's trying to reposition to get around it. Oliver, he's still back to the right. There he is, right there.
There he is, yeah.
And you still have those LAPD units.
Oh my God, bruh.
Again, no real concerted effort to get away. I mean, if he wanted to get on the freeway, he had tons of opportunities to do that when we were back over kind of where this whole thing started. So it doesn't, I mean, doesn't seem to be bothered by the fact that all those cops are back there. He's certainly not doing anything aggressive to try to get away.
As long as you go get some snacks,
Just
like fucking
kind of
fuel up or
not
some shit,
wanting to
like
give
holy
up,
fuck.
go with the program.
If you were in this
And then
guy's
you almost
position right
wonder,
now,
you know,
what would you do
is
to get
this
away successfully?
intentional
X?
stopping? Could there be issues with the car?
Yeah.
I mean, they
The
haven't
stop
been
and
going.
go.
I can't say.
You know, stop and go. Maybe there aren't. You know.
Well, he's sitting in heavier traffic
Yeah.
now, Mike. It looks
Yeah.
like he's got nowhere to go. He could make a right-hand turn into that parking lot, but
I'd make some turns.
Well,
I would
and
throw
that-
random
yeah, that's
objects
kind
out
of
the
thing
window.
Here is like he's not
Make them think that
there's
it's
no
important
real
stuff,
movement
so that
he's,
they disperse a little bit
here's how I can
here,
use them,
there,
here's how I can ditch
lose
them.
a little bit of them,
He's just kind of
go to the highway real quick,
and follow
gun it
along
all the way
and,
down,
you know, kind
back
of do his
in,
thing.
back on the highway,
You're definitely
go
gonna
to
see
fucking
more traffic
all the way
in
to
this
Santa
area
Monica,
at this time
and then gun it
of
up
day,
north to
because this area
Malibu,
can get
up into the
really,
mountains,
jam-packed,
changing departments,
especially on a
out this
Friday.
bitch ass.
This is over off Broadway. I mean, we all know that that's a very busy area.
Yo, much love,
As the central
xqcl.
part of the city right here. Traffic finally starting to move here after that traffic light turned green.
The
here.
reason why I do highway
you're gonna see
and
what
no
he's gonna
highway.
do, just
I
go
know
right
what
through
my
that
go-to
intersection
poll
again.
would
These guys,
But,
LAPD,
slow rates of speed here, not going
goes
too
onto the highway
fast.
for a little
Robbery
bit.
suspect with
They transfer to
one other person
CHP.
inside the
CHP
car,
gets
at
mauled.
least according to two other
They start
passengers.
transferring it
They
back
told
into the
officers
city.
there's
Yo,
someone
dude, blah, blah, blah. They get
driving a
mad.
man,
Now, oh,
and a
really?
woman
They're
in
going to
the
go up
car
Santa Monica?
still
Up,
up here.
change
And
the
this is a
department. They don't pick up the cop. Boom, you're done.
back
You're
to
gone.
an armed robbery.
They'll say,
Mike, you
we
said
know
over
the
last
license
couple of
plate.
days,
We
right?
know the suspect. Don't
Wasn't it a
chase.
couple of
Terminate
days?
the pursuit.
Yeah,
Boom, he's
sorry,
gone.
I'm listening to some radio traffic.
Yeah, a
But
couple days ago, this car
Yeah.
was involved in an armed robbery, but we don't know if the same
It's
person
actually
is
more
in
likely
that
than
car,
not that
but
what I just said is
it
actually
may
correct.
very well be, since he does not want to pull over for those officers.
And officers have to operate with the knowledge that perhaps this weapon is still in their car, and if they did use a weapon in a robbery, this person should be considered dangerous. So this pursuit continues here of a robbery suspect now through the central part of the city, close to downtown LA, a different area than they were just a little while ago, where they were just kind of circling.
Okay, chat. Tell me if something happens. Something exciting happens.
Union area, the Jefferson Park area.